Mic check, mic check. Yep. Right. So, hello and welcome everyone to ANL. It's about 10 minutes into qualifying that I've been able to start the stream, so apologies for that as we have missed quite a few drivers' laps. We have just three drivers left to yet to start a lap. I'm just trying to follow somebody who is on a lap. I believe this driver is about to start the lap. So yeah, it's my first time doing commentary for this league. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think I've raced any of these people ever, so I'm not entirely sure how well they may race. I believe from what I've heard, they race pretty well, and as I can see from the lap times, they do seem very competitive. As the Audi livery here of Igor is all I'll say. Igor has 25-0. Neat lap by them rather. And I see that only 3 drivers in the pits. All other 15 drivers are out on track. We have a stray yellow flag around left field. Let's follow somebody who is on a lap. So I believe we can follow Destroyer. So as they end sector 1, they're down by about 10th and a half on their personal best and have a little rear end sliding there. I think that livery is supposed to resemble the Mercedes car, going into towards the very famous Cops Corner. After the old start finish straight, there's a car right behind them, a yellow car. I think that has to be Rudger. I'm not sure how you pronounce these names, but regardless, the default livery as it is in P7, and they are up by just under a tenth of a second. This should net them possibly a possible P5, maybe getting close to P4 as somebody just gone across the line. I think that might be XVBRE. Let's follow the driver. He's fallen down to P9, but it looks to be a neat lap for him as they go up to the line, and it is gonna be P5. Alright, a 125.444 as somebody just beats them. Is that hashtag? Yes, I think that is LVP or IVP hashtag. Can't see the names very clearly, unfortunately. Let's have a look further back. Only one driver hasn't set a lap time yet, that is VFR Laser. I think Psycho is down by a second. What about Jeffrey? I believe they are on a lap and there's some traffic ahead of them and they're having to back off. Even if they were on a lap, they won't be able to complete it now. That's curtains. What about the auto battery? Auto battery. Nobody seems to be on a lap. All those who follow are either out of battery or they've invalidated. So I think drivers just have enough time to come back into the pits and go out again. It is one of the slowest pit lanes. I think possibly the slowest pit lane in all of F1, the one at Silverstone. And the driver in P2 comes into the box, and we do have 5 minutes remaining in the session. Drivers need to decide very fast and very soon what they want to do in regards to whether they want to chuck on a new set of tires or they want to just call it quits for qualifying, as E6 drives into the pit lane and is this drive on a lap. Yep, so Ollie F1 on a lap. I shall try my best to remember the corner names well as we're going through village onto the loop, and the Alfa Romeo livery with the Ferrari helmet. And entry, the Wellington straight, goes Ollie F1 in the Alfa Romeo. DRS is open, and as they end sector 1, they are going to be down by just 0.05 of a second. But regardless, through Brooklands and through the slow right-hander off Lovefield, on towards Woodcote we go, and the old start-finish straight at Silverstone. And this is a very controversial corner, but Ollie F1 seems to navigate it well. Full throttle, pedal to the metal there. Brilliant stuff. Approaching Maggots and Beckett. That's a brilliant helmet there, I must say. Maggots and Beckett looks to be navigating it well and has done so. That's a nice way to get through it, through Chapel and on to Sector 2. And they're down by 1,000 on their personal best, and apparently they set up purple Sector 2. I'm not sure if that is representative or not, but nonetheless, we go towards... I can't remember the name of that corner for the life of me, and they're boxing. Alright. So they have decided to call it quits on that lap. What about the only driver who has not set a lap time yet? That is VFR Laser 24. 25.0 is the current best time. However, the field is very closely matched. If we have a look here, the gap between the leader and P15 is less than a second. That is very, very competitive. As let's be on board with VFR Laser, as I can see people filing out of the pit lane. There should be people coming out very soon because we don't have enough time left in the session, and given that there's going to be some back-offs during people's outlaps, people should really prioritize track position above much more. Laser onto the Wellington Straight, and that looks to be a neat run. And as they end sector 1, it is going to be, oh, there's an audio glitch there for some reason. A 27-1, reasonably competitive, and the provisional pole sitter has decided to come out of the pit lane. Igor, I think that time may not be unbeatable. I'm pretty sure I have a feeling that the top 5, the order might change come the end of qualifying. As we look at VFR Laser's lap, and as we can see on the minimap there in the bottom right, drivers are starting to file out onto the track. And I think every single driver is going to come out, as Laser is going to end sector 2 with a lap time of 102.0. I think this could probably be somewhere like a P10 to P12 lap. I'm going to slot them in potential P11 in my opinion. And Laser coming up to Vale Chicane and into Club, the last corner, and onto the Hamilton Straight, and it is going to be a lap time which is worthy of P3. Never mind, I do not know my lap times around here, but that's a brilliant lap by VFR Laser. As you can see, all other drivers are on an out lap, and the first of whom start a lap would be Mr. Psycho, who's currently in P15, and as Exo Wolves in the chat saying, let's go. I appreciate your enthusiasm a lot. Let us know who you're supporting there. I'm not sure with people's names here. Please forgive me for my lack of knowledge. I am still new to this, but regardless, we do carry on. Psycho ALB, are you an Albon supporter? Alex Albon? Nonetheless, you have a Ferrari helmet on, and it is going to be the end of sector 1. And for Mr. Psycho, they are up by almost 1.5 tenths. Let's have a look at somebody else. Lazy but talented coming up to sector 1, and also 1.5 tenths. That seems to be the perfect little window for drivers to improve. Let's follow the provisional pole sitter. They are not leading by a comfortable margin. 10.5 is what everybody's improving by, and they're ahead of the next driver by only 1.5 tenths. So as they end sector 1, it is up by just less than a tenth, but that might just be enough because the driver right behind them is in P2 and they're down in the first sector. What about P3? P3's boxed, alright. The P4 just started their lap. As let's have a look at somebody who's about to finish their lap. So Psycho is about to finish their lap, and they've had a spin. That's a perfect commentator's curse if there ever was one. So following next up, and somebody's retired in the pit lane, is it? Lazy but talented coming up to Vale Chicane. This looks to be a neat lap, a little lock up there, but nonetheless, the F1 World Car, I have no idea what teams they're racing for, but Lazy but talented coming up to the line, and they stay P11, but they do improve on their time by a little bit. Some others coming up to the line, I believe there's a blue car of ANL World Cup coming up to the line, and it's P16. They improve by almost 4 tenths, but it's not enough in the end. A couple of drivers coming up to the line. Igor takes pole position, improves on the time, and NLR Rudy improves on that by almost 3 tenths, and Gatkowski gets P2 right at the death there. Igor really messed up there, I think, at the end. But what a lap by NLR Rudy. That's a brilliant effort there. Destroyer has JAYM is right in the session. As Destroyer comes up to Club Corner onto the Hamilton Straight, has a little moment there, and that's going to be curtains for their lap. As we have XBBRE coming up to the line, and what's it going to be? It's going to be P9, an improvement of 2 positions. Eon Dan improves up to P14, I believe, from P17. Was not really sure yet. There you go, it's P14. And that's the end of qualifying. So 18 minutes of qualifying sees NLR Rudy on top by just over 2 tenths from K. Gatkowski. Igor is P3. EFE Ema is P4. VFR Laser, who's had a brilliant one-lap dash right towards the end there, is P5, about 5.5 tenths off the pole sitter. Destroyer is P6. IVP or LVP hashtag is P7. Ollie F1's P8. XVBRE is P9 and Rutger is P10. Outside the top 10, we have Jeffrey, M1, Lazy, Eon Dan, JM, Mr. Psycho, ANL Volkert, and URL Walkers, and ANL NP6. So, the top 15 separated by less than a second, and the top 18 separated by less than 2 seconds. That is quite competitive, and I do expect to see some great action come the main race. And from what I know, and I think we don't have a formation lap. If we do, it will give us a chance to look at the tyre situation, and it is sunny skies, a rarity for Britain. But nonetheless, sunny skies in front of us at Silverstone, virtual Silverstone be it. But if there's anybody in chat, please do let us know what your podium predictions are for the top 3, and also for your strategies, what the strategy predictions are for, say, if you expect somebody to start on the hard tires, somebody to start on the softs, or do you expect everybody to play it safe and go on to the mediums for the restart and then maybe box for the hards? Anything's possible. Let's wait and find out as we see varied color schemes for all the drivers. Very interesting. I shall do my best to figure out which teams they are representing, but we should have the firelights come on any moment now. And as we still wait for the firelights to come on ahead of the drivers, I would like to ask somebody for their predictions for the start. And it is 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights ahead of the drivers here at Silverstone, and it's gonna be lights out and away we go. It's a neat start for NLR Rudy. K. Gatkowski gets a decent start. A lot of drivers on the hard tires. Further back, it looks as if everybody's got a neat start, at least as of now. As we go towards Village, the midfield looks to be very bunched up, very closely knit together, and the top 2 are separated by almost nothing. A lot of position trading going on here further back. As let's have a look at the tire situation. So nobody opting for the soft tires, the top 5 on the hards as of now, and P2 is harassing P1 almost, getting the slipstream towards Brooklands, approaching left field. Are they gonna go for the switchback? They might as well, but P3 might get interested in all this. And I think in the end it's going to be the pole sitter NLR Rudy who stays in front for the time being. Let's have a look at the lap data. We should not enable telemetry at all there. Igor having a bit of a nice run there as Gatkowski has a little moment. In P2, this is so closely knit together. Everybody is absolutely neck and neck. Through Magnussen Beckett's we go on board with hashtag. As Gatkowski struggling, somebody's had a moment here. I think his Destroyers had to take some evasive action from Igor, who I think had a little moment behind Gatkowski. EFE and Destroy trade places side by side towards this corner. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. Has a little slide there, little snap, but keeps it under control. And EFE breaks very late, has a lock up and has to cede the position, I guess, to Destroyer. And I think that is exactly what's happened. Hashtag gets a nice run on P5, and there's a yellow flag further back for somebody. I'm not sure who that is, and ANL Volkert has picked up the first penalty of the race on just the very first lap, as somebody gonna go for a dive there. That's hashtag who's had a moment, and they've gone for a horrendous dive there, and they've taken out 2 cars and somebody's reset on track. I'm not sure what the reset on track penalty is in this league, but I don't think it is very severe, as now we see quite a few drivers. This is the midfield, another penalty for lazy but talented. Down in P14, is it? Yeah, P14. Jeffrey Loff trying to make a move down the inside of ANL, the green car. I think that's an Aston Martin. And they might not be able to make it stick, but hashtag trying to make up some positions that they lost after that contact there. And Jeffrey cedes the position, sensibly so. Up ahead, it seems to be close between these two, as the battle for P5, 10 points. Between M1 Righty and Ollie F1. And Ollie seems to be struggling a little bit on those hard tires, while M1 seems to have lit them up pretty well. As a yellow flag further back for somebody. Is that, yep, going the wrong way, is it? Just had a little spin there, as we see a move being made, quite a few moves being made further back as well. as Eon Dan gets past JAYM. Lazy but talented looking to make a move at Whale Chicane, and they're gonna go for it and they're gonna send it, and they make a horrendous dive there. That could have been judged a little better there. A little bit of bumper cars going on here, but nonetheless we are still racing and we're all still in one piece. All 19 drivers are still in the running for the race win. At least it's still in the race. Let's have a look up ahead. There's a move coming here for Jeffrey on Psycho. Can't keep track of my names here. As Jeffrey in that very striking livery with the number 34, looking to make a move on P9. Now they're going to go for it with the help of DRS. Both of them have DRS, but Psycho has the advantage for now, but goes a bit deep into that corner. And going through left field. Is Jeffrey going to get the switch back on them? I don't think they might. And somebody cheering on NP. If you can please let me know who that is. I have no idea who that is. And is that ANL NP6? Welcome to the chat. Meanwhile, Luke, it's nice to have you here. Igor, this is the battle for the top 3. Meanwhile, it's very heated at the top here. And P1 has lost quite a bit of battery and is going to lose the position as well. This is the first position trading for the lead of the race, as Igor is getting interested in making a move on NLR Rudy, who has lost a position to Getkowski already. And as they go towards Whale Chicane, Rudy has outside line which will become the inside, and that is some very close, very good racing between the both of them. And Igor makes the move and gets past NLR Rudy. Further back, hashtag and ANL NP6 very close to one another as somebody picks up another penalty. We'll follow these two for the time being here. The Verstappen livery versus the Audi livery. NLR Rudy versus Igor Jelen. And they go on to Woodpit and the Wellington Straight. What can NLR Rudy do? They're gonna hang back for now as that audio glitches back. M1 righty gets past VFR Laser. VFR Laser, I think, is in a neat position here. They are in P4. They are getting to race pretty nicely with M1 righty, and by the looks of it, it is a very clean battle as well. And speaking of clean battles, the top 3 all line astern in formation, and they don't seem to be. It looks like they're being towed around by Mr. Getkowski here, as Mr. Psycho, never mind, gets a penalty for the back as Igor onto the hanger straight with DRS is the move in coming here at Stowe. This turn is called Stowe, yes. Had a little realization there, and at Stowe, Igor makes the move on Getkowski, and is Getkowski gonna go for a dive here at Whale Chicane, decides against it. NLR Rudy still in P3 and still having to hang back, and this is just lap 5 of what we have another 22 laps to go. Well, that is mighty impressive and mighty interesting in terms of what we're going to see in terms of strategy and such. We have Mr. Psycho chasing after, never mind, ANL NP6 chasing after IVP hashtag, as EFE AMA is retired in the pit lane. That will not bring out a safety car, thankfully. However, there's a yellow flag in sector 1 and 3. Up ahead, any moves incoming? I don't think so, because he's not using any battery, but they're gonna hang back for now. However, the line was compromised through that corner. And going in through left field, Getkowski still holds on to the, hangs on to the back of that Audi car. I have a feeling that tires might not be very happy right now. Somebody's left the session, unfortunate for them. Getkowski still hanging on to the back of that Audi, but NLR Rudy coming back into play. I think they've had some time to charge up their battery as IVP hashtag picks up another penalty. And NLR Rudy onto the hanger straight. DRS open. Are they going to chase after Getkowski? Are they going to just hang back? I think they're just going to hang back for now. For the back, some moves being made here. ANL NP6 on IVP hashtag, and that's a perfect move. The two medium runners trade positions. For the back, the other two medium runners hold positions for now. It's Lazy but Talented and JAYM. I want to have a look at who's battling. So let's stay on board with the top 3 here. Further back, I see a lot of moves being made. A lot of drivers very close to one another, as Getkowski has a little moment there going through village onto the loop, and we shall have a look at whether NLR Rudy can make the move on this lap. And all this being stuck behind the Gitkowski has allowed M1 righty LDN to catch up to the back of NLR Rudy, but they still don't have DRS, and their light is blinking, so they're out of battery, while VFR Laser has conserved their battery masterfully and is right on the back of the Aston Martin, I would like to say. Nonetheless, I believe this is the Red Bull of NLR Rudy, and Gitkowski is in what looks to be an old Lotus livery. I'm not sure which team that is supposed to represent, as NLR Rudy picks up a 3-second penalty that is going to drop them way down the order by the looks of it, as VFR Laser also picks up a penalty. Travis picking up so many penalties. At the moment, we have 3-second penalties apiece for NLR Rudy, Laser. Let's have a look at this for now, just a moment. While Gitkowski making a move, gets very close to the rear end of Igor, but keeps it under control and away from contact. And further back, these two trade places once again. Hashtag and NP6. And as they go towards Vale Chicane, NP6 decides against a dive. Sensibly so, that's fair enough. However, they're being caught by Mr. Psycho ALB, who has a moment there out of the last corner. Club and Eon Dan down the Hamilton straight, looking to get interested and making a move for P9. That's going to double their points at the moment by the looks of it. However, up ahead seems to be a little bit of a challenge for ANL NPCs to get the power down. I believe the tires are very hot, and as we can see there from their onboard steering wheel, it's a little bit tense there in that cockpit, while once again up ahead these three have been at it, while LDN has fallen back. Mr. Righty further back, there's a little move being made here for P15, is it? So there are battles going on all across the field. While we see Gitkowski looking to make a move on Igor Jelin for the, I think this is the 4th attempt that they're making, and they have a little moment there, having to lift so much. This is going to give NLR Rudy so much reason to make a move down the hanger straight. However, I think this is the moment for Gitkowski to shine. Are they going to use battery? They're not using any battery. They're going to hang back for now as they go towards Stowe. It's a very close moment there, a tense moment, and that's going to open up a door for NLR Rudy to make a move at Vale Chicane, but NLR decides against it and is going to hang back for now. Right, he is back in DRS range. I think it is just going to be temporary though, as those ahead are very rapid and really don't look like they're going to be stopping anytime soon. Yeah, there's a little big gap here behind Ollie F1 and ANL NP6 as somebody going towards the off the track. There is that JYM. Yep, and they get a 10-second penalty for exceeding track limits. And I'm not sure what happened there with them. Just as I had a look, as Gitkowski has very robotic steering inputs. I think that is just my spectator lag. Or maybe there's something wrong with their wheel. Not sure what's going on here. I think that is definitely spectator lag. As we go through Love Field, slow right-hander, IVP hashtag and ANL trade places for the umpteenth time. Psycho looks to make a move. NP6 looks to get back the position that they lost just a moment ago. On to Woodford and the old start finish straight. Further back, there's a few battles going on here. Up ahead though, the battle for P2 just got interesting. NLR Rudy looking to make a move. They have a 3-sec penalty, and I think they got another warning there. Dog going off track, and as they go to the hanger straight, Rudy is still right behind Gitkowski looking to make a move, and nothing doing on this occasion once again. So they like to hold station, all these drivers. They're not really making too many moves and overtakes right now at this stage in the race. And as I say that, Psycho tries to make a move on ANL NP6, and they're side by side towards Vale Chicane. Somebody's had a spin there, I think it was Destroyer. And ANL NP6 and Psycho very, very close to one another. Are we going to see a move being made here by one of them? Yes, Psycho gets past NP6, while Eon Dan looking to make a move on NP6, who lost quite a few places as of now. While Eon Dan has not really made up too many, I think. How did they? Let's have a look at the position changes. So Eon Dan has made up 4, while NP6 has made up 10 places. And I see Psycho having a little moment there. Up ahead, battle for the lead. Yeah, I'm trying to differ from this as they don't really make too many moves up front. Further back, let's get back to the battle between ANL and Psycho. I think ANL Never mind. Psycho has a little bit more battery in reserve at the moment. While up ahead, this is Gutkowski, very, very close to Igor. They've charged up all their battery. So has Igor. Neither of them are using any battery. That is very interesting tactics by them. As we must say, as Gutkowski has a massive lag spike there, almost, and crash over the movement there. As Rudy is falling back into the clutches of M1 right. As Gutkowski gets past Igor, this for the lead of the race, mind you. And is Igor going to go for a move here at wheel chicane? Decides against it, and Gutkowski is now in the lead. The Audi livery driver loses the lead of the race to K. Gutkowski, and this we start lap 10 with the new race leader. M1 righty right behind Rudy, trying to make a move. Further back a few more people, and we have the first pit stop for lazy but talented M, who has made the move, made the switch onto hard tires. I believe it's going to be no question about that. Igor hot on the heels of Gutkowski, but not looking to make a move. They're all conserving their battery very well. I must say, Rudy is also able to hold off righty without using up too much of the battery, while righty is really down on battery. So is VFR Laser. As we have a look up ahead though, these few drivers are looking to make some moves. I think Igor wants to regain the position that they lost just a lap ago. Through cops we go. Grass is being lifted up into the air as Igor looks to make a move, sniffing for an opportunity, kisses the rear end of K. Gutkowski's car. Igor through Chapel onto the hanger straight with the help of DRS. I don't see them using any battery. I don't think it makes sense for them to, because coming up towards Stowe, the Audi livery is going to go down the inside of the Lotus livery and get past. While NLR Rudy looking to get interested, or are they boxing? Nope, nobody's boxing right now. We might see somebody boxing in a moment here, while this is too close to call, I must say. As alright, so only one person has decided to box, and that is lazy but talented. ANL Wolcott has decided to go on to the medium tires. I think they started on the mediums as well, so I'm not sure how that's going to pan out for them. I'll have a look in a moment. As NP6, one of the biggest protagonists in this little battle in the midfield that we've seen in this race, has decided to box and switch on to the hard tires, I believe it is. So, given how close the field is, if a driver knows that they're faster in cleaner air, they might just be looking to make the undercut. And as we know from the real life race around here, the undercut is incredibly powerful under Silverstone, at Silverstone, as ANL Wolcott gets a penalty. And yeah, sorry, before I lose my train of thought, the undercut is very, very powerful. I expect to see some drivers utilize it, especially those on the mediums. For those on the hard, somebody went very wide there. I think that might have been righty, but I could be wrong. Up ahead though, Gutkowski looking to make a move on Igor, trying to regain the lead that they've lost on the last lap after having chased Igor for quite a few laps. I think it was like 6 or 7 laps that Gutkowski chased after Igor, but no moves being made right now. If I were hashtag, I would box for hard tires at this stage in the race. I mean, it's better to, and have they boxed? No, they've lost a position and they're still battling, and they're gonna stay out. Hashtag losing a position to Mr. Psycho, who locks up into Vale chicane, and hashtag looking for the switch back towards Club and the Hamilton straight. Nothing doing, however. As for the back, somebody's gone very wide there, and that's a very questionable rejoin to the track there for Jeffrey. It was a very nice livery, but is going side by side with ex-VBRE. I think VBRE was almost first off there on the main straight. But nonetheless, we do carry on. Up ahead, are we going to see a move here? We are not. Once again, they are just going to follow one another here, Gutkowski and Igor. And from what I see on their, if their badge is something to go by, I assume these two are teammates. I don't know, and I can't say for sure. Lazy but talented has gained quite a few positions, I think, compared to where they were. They will gain a lot of time, given everybody is battling, and I think Psycho is leading this train from hashtag, who's gone a little wide there and probably picked up a warning in the process. As we see M1 righty right behind NLR Rudy, but decides against making a move because the Red Bull liveried car has the straight line speed for now and stays ahead. Witkowski looking to make a move at Whale Chicane but decides against it, as has been the case for a few laps there. Rutger and JAYM trade some positions. That is for P12. And yeah, it's lap 13. We're halfway through the race. As I think the top few will start to struggle. They have used up their tires quite a bit more than their battery, I must say. As Laser right behind M1 righty. And okay, somebody's ghosted there. Is that Gutkowski? That is Gutkowski, and I think Gutkowski is lagging. And NLR Rudy looks to make the move. And okay, that is a lot of lag there. I'm not sure what's going on here with these drivers, but yeah, Gutkowski looking like they need a new, or rather to improve the internet connection. By the looks of it, I don't know what's going on there, but we carry on. Towards Cops we go, on board with Gutkowski, and yeah, it just doesn't seem like they're very eager to make the move right now. They would rather save up their battery and make a tactical move towards the end of the race. That makes sense, as we see righty right behind NLR Rudy, and lucky for them, they don't have a penalty. However, NLR Rudy does. Gutkowski looking to make a move on Igor, but decides against it and is going to hold back at Stowe, but has to lift off a little bit there. That I think is going to cost them some time. To Igor, little lock up there. Are they getting frustrated under that very green helmet? Okay, Gutkowski. They have lost a little bit of time to Igor. Igor is looking to pull away by a little bit. Eon Dan in the box, so Rutger with a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That is not what you need, and definitely not what you want. And Lazy but Talented, I think, was the first driver to box in the entire field. What are they going to be able to do come the end of the race? Will the tires be able to hang on, or will they be hanging on for dear life come the end of the race? We're about to find out. I expect the hard runners to box, say, around lap 16 or 17 if they're looking to go onto the medium tires, and around lap 19 or 20 or so if they're going to go onto the soft tires, because the soft tires don't really have too much tire life. Around Silverstone, they wear out very fast. Lazy but Talented has jumped a fair few drivers, but I believe come the end of the race, they are going to really struggle. Their tires are going to be a lot more worn than those around them, as XVBRE and Eondan looking to tussle. Eondan just fresh out of the pit lane, while XVBRE has made the pit stop and is on warmer tires, fresher tires. However, we're gonna go for the switch over for a moment here to the top two, as there is a massive lag spike here. I'm not sure who is in the lead right now. NLR Rudy and Igor side by side, and Gutkowski is all over the place, lagging around, and M1 righty is gonna get a great view of all this. I must say, to have this so much composure at while fighting for such an important position in the race is mighty impressive. I have to say, all these drivers get my salute. We see M1 righty right behind Gutkowski, and Rudy looking to regain the P1 that they lost a long time back. And as we go on to the Wellington Straight, the Red Bull liveried car looks to make a move on the Audi livery, but decides against it. Igor is still in front for the time being, while Righty is they've regained a lot of battery. Righty, while NLR Rudy is in their destroy, and JAYM trade positions. And behind them, Ollie F1 has made their pit stop, and I think everybody behind Ollie, yep, that is the case. Everybody behind Ollie has made a pit stop, while everybody ahead, including JAYM, needs to make a pit stop, while JAYM is struggling. JAM, I'm just gonna call him JAM. I think, please do correct me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. As we have a look once again, up ahead, Igor moves out the way, almost, while Gutkowski gets very close to the rear end of the Red Bull livery car, the Verstappen livery car. Nobody's boxing, but yeah, never mind. Igor is, so is NLR, and I hope they'll slow down in time. No, there's a little tap there between Igor and NLR, and that's gonna. So Gutkowski gets a penalty for that collision with NLR Rudy. They all went so fast into the pit lane, and everybody is boxing on the very same lap. So that is going to result in a few double stacks, I believe, because there you go, somebody's having to double stack. That is K. Gitkowski, who has a little moment there. And switches on to the medium tires as righty is in the lead of the race. Just a moment. Apologies there for the little delay. Yep. So I think a fair few drivers are going to get jumped by Ollie here. One of whom I think is going to be K. Gitkowski, who has fallen down to P7. And yeah. So up ahead it is JYM and M1 righty, JM and M1 righty, who have not made their pit stops. Everybody else has. And interesting is that I think M1 righty is going to actually benefit from staying out the extra lap around here, because everybody behind them boxed, and as a result, as you can see, they're all going to be battling with one another, which is going to give M1 righty some breathing space as they gain some time. But nonetheless, let's have a look. They should be boxing this lap. Interesting is that IVP hashtag or LVP hashtag has opted to go onto the soft tires, as M1 righty should slow down in time, which they do. What about James? Is James going to box this lap? They should. For the soft tires, I think it should be. No doubt about it, as James is going to stay out and inherit the lead of the race, while M1 righty is going to go on to the medium tires. What about Igor? Where is M1 righty going to come out in regards to Igor? As James takes the lead of the race for now. However, the net lead of the race could be between these two drivers, Igor and M1 righty. Who's going to come out on top? M1 righty is going to have the slightly fresher tires, and as they exit the pit lane, I think it's going to be incredibly close, but Igor is going to be ahead. So is everybody up to Laser, but then again, M1 righty does have fresher tires. It's a matter of whether they can make the move on with some sense of urgency. Little struggle there to get the tires to provide a good bit of grip. They are cold tires, so I expect to see M1 righty right behind VFR Laser, chasing after and look to make a move in about a lap's time. Yeah, midway through lap 18, we should see NLR Rudy's, M1 righty's tires really fire up and go for it. James is deciding to carry on out there on 16 lap old medium tires. And onto the hanger straight goes the race leader. However, the race leader does have to make a pit stop. We have not seen a single safety car in this race. That I think speaks in itself volumes about the racing standards and the quality of the drivers that we have in the field here. So I must say, it is very impressive how fast they all are and also how clean they all are in battle with one another. At the moment, I expect to see this battle stay as is. James has decided to stay out another lap. I must say, and NLR Rudy picks up the fastest lap of the race. Still chasing after Igor. There are a few penalties up and down the field, and we see moving media as URL, the Walkers, loses a few positions and is tagged there and has to go off track and rejoins in a very unsafe manner by the looks of it. And oh no, and there's contact and there is possible damage to Lazy but Talented, who I think was the very first driver to make a pit stop, and BBRE picks up a penalty. But whatever happened there with all these drivers, not entirely sure, as somebody went over the curbing there. I think that might have been Mr. Psycho, not sure, but yeah, a lot of action. We have a yellow flag as James spun. Yep, I think James has spun. No, they have a puncture, a front left puncture for James. I think that's gonna signal the end of what was looking to be a possibly interesting strategy call for James, as they're getting out the way, but there are yellow flags everywhere. Nobody can make a move, and there's a track limit penalty for James. I don't understand how the game believes that is gaining time on other drivers. This could be cause for a safety car. Is it gonna result in some strategic maneuvers? I don't think so, because there is no safety car coming out in this race by the looks of it. They're all racing pedal to the metal to the finish. Igor still leads the race, followed by NLR Rudy, while Righty just picks up the fastest lap with a 1:27.999. A yellow flag once again. I think that is still for JM, who lets Wolkut go, and Wolkut is behind Lazy but Talented by about 10 seconds, as JM is definitely going to box, and the question remains, are they going to retire, or are they going to change onto a set of soft tires? They're effectively out of the race, out of the points. The way these people race, I don't think we're ever going to see a safety car. I don't think this division ever sees a safety car, as Psycho makes the move on Ollie F1, and the Alfa Romeo livery is relegated to P7. I think that's the number 77 Alfa Romeo as well. Interesting, however not as interesting as this little battle here. M1 Righty very close to NLR Rudy. M1 Righty crucially does not have a penalty, while NLR Rudy does. And once we cross the line, positions are going to be changing very soon. Jeffrey Loff, who is in P11, picks up a penalty, while M1 Righty is not going to make a move, but NLR Rudy might on Igor and decides against it, while Laser is just relaxing further back. Gitkowski lost out in the pit lane, but is now looking to make some moves and is ahead of Psycho. And can they stay ahead of Psycho is what the question really should be. As we start lap 20, race leader Igor is still very much in control. NLR Rudy is giving them a tough time, goes a little wide there, through farm and village, into the loop we go, and taking alternative lines there, Rudy and Igor. M1 Righty is right behind, and Volker picks up a 5-sec penalty for speeding in the pit lane. I think that is probably switching on to a set of soft tires. If I were them, I would probably have stopped on lap 23 or 24 instead of lap 20. That gives other drivers less reason to decide to make a pit stop, but nonetheless we do carry on. Laser in P4, and that is soft tires for ANL Wolfert, and Rudy looks to be struggling a little bit here. When you are stuck behind another driver for extended period of time, you will your tire temperature will soar and you will struggle with grip. As we have Righty on the back of Rudy himself trying to get some slipstream and going for a move. Is it at Stowe? I think there might be a move incoming here. Igor should be a bit more vigilant. That was almost a door very wide open for NLR Rudy to make the move here. And as we go through Vale and Club corner and the Hamilton straight, we start lap 21. We have 6 laps left in what has been a very closely matched ANL race, as somebody's had a spin. That is the default livery of Rutger 97R, who has front wing damage and is gonna box. Unfortunate conclusion to their race. M1 Righty is still there, and this is very heated, but nobody wants to make overtakes. I think this might be one of the very few league races I've commentated on where the top few are just following one another as opposed to battling one another. They may be from different teams and such in the terms of the constructors. Obviously, we are using the F1 World Car because Codemasters have decided to break equal cars once again, as NLR Rudy goes very wide there and may have picked up another track limit warning, but is still ahead, does not have 6 seconds as of now. Rudy goes through Beckett's and Chapel Curve, and is Rudy going to be looking to make a move on Igor? Down the hanger straight we go. Igor still ahead, but Rudy is going to hold on for now. Let's have a look at somebody else. However, I think we're just going to default back here for a moment, as Righty was very close but can't make a move. Yep, everybody is very sensible about it, as I saw Igor with a little rear end sliding movement there. Lap 22 has begun for the race leader. Gitkowski is not really able to claw back all the time that they lost in the pit lane, while Ollie F1 is very close to Mr. Psycho and possibly looking to make a move down the Wellington straight. Let's be on board and find out. Psycho has a lot less battery as compared to Ollie, and Ollie got a much better run as well. They're on the exact same tires with the exact same tire life as well, mind you. And up ahead I see the gap diminishing, but I'm not going to switch over to that. I'm going to stay here as Psycho and Ollie trade places, and That's a neat move by Ollie, and provided they can hold on to that, that is going to be P6, given they have no penalties right now. Once again, we go to the top 4, who are very, very, very closely matched. And Righty is still hassling Rudy. Rudy themselves are still harassing Igor by the looks of it. And Rudy stays behind for the time being. Righty is also right there. I think I've said that like 15 times in this race about Righty being right there. I'm gonna stop with that. Well, let's have a look at Laser. Laser, if you remember, did just one lap in qualifying and picked up P5, and right now they're in P4, chasing after Righty. Any contact between these three and Righty is gonna inherit a brilliant result by the looks of it, because Gutkowski is not really gaining by much, and we are on to lap 23. Sorry, we see some battles for P9 here. Eon Dan and XVBRE are looking to trade places, or are they? Eon Dan is ahead for the time being. However, it looks like ANL Rudy is a bit closer on this occasion to Igor. Nope, can't make the move. Let's have a look further back. Destroyer on the back of Jeffrey. Jeffrey trying to make a move on XVBRE, while Eon Dan leaves this little pack, themselves chasing after IVP hashtag, whose tires must be crying out for help now. And I do agree with their Halo message there to finish first. First you have to finish, said by the 7-time world champion Michael Schumacher. But yeah, I see no other custom Halo messages on other drivers' cars right now. Engineered insanity for K. Gutkowski, who is not able to gain any time on those ahead. I think they're all really in a brilliant DRS train. They are managing to stay ahead of Gutkowski, and Gutkowski themselves are not able to really make up to any positions. Lap 24, 3 laps to go. For Igor, the race leader, they have done a brilliant job. Let's have a look at their position trading. So Igor from P3 is moved up to P1. Rudy has fallen from P1 to P2. And look at this, M1 Righty has moved up 9 places has a little moment though, coming on to the Wellington Straight. But yeah, a brilliant race by M1 Righty. However, I think it's going to get even better given that they don't have any penalties right now, and Rudy has, so does VFR Laser. So Righty doesn't really have much to risk right now, should not be looking to risk too much. Some trading positions going on between hashtag and Eon Dan. Eon Dan moves up into P8 without any penalties. That's very impressive. Lazy but talented has decided to fit a set of soft tires onto their car. As we see some more moves going on for the back here. No, we don't. Alright, so we are coming up to the tail end of the race as ANL Rudy goes for the move on Igor. And is Igor gonna go for the switchback or go for the offensive? I think they're gonna wait for the Wellington or the hanger straight with the help of DRS. Igor might look to make the move there, and this is ANL Rudy's chance to shine. This is the penultimate lap of the race, lap 25 of 26, and as ANL Rudy regains the lead of the race that they lost a long time ago, M1 Righty is right there behind Igor, and very close, almost sniffing the gearbox of Igor's car. Lazy but talented picks up a penalty. Igor has DRS and is closing up on ANL Rudy. Righty gets very close to the rear end of Igor's car, but holds on for now. Has a little moment there, a little slide. I think Righty's tires are starting to give up. They must be getting very hot here, or maybe Righty just got a bit eager with the throttle there, as I see their tires are in very good condition, as I think Gutkowski has 5 seconds of penalty, so which I think they may be able to get removed, as it was gained the pit lanes. There's a spin up ahead. The spinner of Rutger, I believe is it, who is about to be lapped by the looks of it. That is quite surprising, and they get a 5-sec penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Unfortunately for them, I don't think they've realized that how close they are to being lapped, as they won't be able to make it to the line in time. NLR Rudy is going to lead all the drivers onto the final lap of the race. Lap 26 of 26. Igor is right there. Is Igor going to look to win the race on track, or is Igor going to hang on to P2 and just pick up a safe victory? As we go towards Village Corner, Rutgers retired from the session. Righty is there. Igor looks to get a better run. Tries the alternative route. Righty tags the back of Igor's Audi livery. And Igor, with the help of DRS and battery and some slipstream, might be looking to make a move on the Wellington straight. Decides against it, I believe, is it? And yep, is gonna go for the move down the Hanger straight, I believe. But then it's gonna give Rudy another opportunity to provide a brilliant defense to the Audi livery car, as Igor has a little movement there. Rear end stepping out for a little walk by the looks of it. Righty is getting interested. Igor is very interested to regain P1 that they've lost. I think it was 3 laps, the previous lap, and getting a nice run to Maggots and Beckett is going to be critical for both these drivers. Rudy gets a nice run. Igor gets a better run and is going to dump all the ERS down the Hanger straight, and I think it's going to be smooth sailing, or will it, for Igor as they go through Stowe side by side, very reminiscent of Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen. They bang wheels, and I think it's Igor in front, but no, Rudy gets a brilliant run there, has the inside line, and Igor and Rudy are going to go side by side to the finish line, and that was a little close there, but what a brilliant finish there. VFR Laser finishes in P4. Gutkowski is going to be P5 but has a penalty to serve, which is going to dump them down to P7, I believe it is going to be. Yep, Ollie F1 moves up into P5, Gutkowski P6. Mr. Psycho also had some penalties. Eon Dan finishes in P8, a great drive by them. Destroyer is P9, VBRE is 10. Somebody has destroyed their car, that's hashtag, on 11 lap old soft tires. Lazy but talented picked up the fastest lap on the last lap there. Down in P15, however, so I don't think they're going to get a point for it. As James and Wolcott are battling, I think they might be in the same team. Are they? Not sure how the Constructors' Championship looks like, but 10th and a half separates the top two. What's going to separate these two? Wolcott and James are side by side almost, and Wolcott is struggling to keep the car under control. Lazy but talented finishes the race, and they have a lot of penalties, these two, Wolcott and James, and they're gonna come up to the line, and that's a moment for Wolcott who's destroyed their car. But what a drive we've seen here from the Audi livery of Igor. What a brilliant drive, I must say. That was hats off to the pair of them. They raced so well. As driver of the day, as per the game, goes to Mr. Psycho. But wow, that has to be one of the most interesting races, as Igor raises their country's flag. I'm not sure which country that is, so I'm not going to make an attempt to name it. Yeah. What a brilliant drive there for Igor from P3 to P1. Righty from P12 to P2. What a brilliant drive there, from gaining 10 positions. Rudy from P1 falls to P3 after that penalty. Laser finishes in P4. Ollie F1 moves up 3 places from P8 to P5. Gutkowski had a unfortunate end to the race after that 5-sec penalty. It's dropped them down to P6, and I think even without it, they would have just been P5. Mr. Psycho from 16th goes up to 7th. Eon Dan from 14th to 8th. While those behind have lost a few positions. Destroyer has lost 3 places. VBRE has lost 1 position. Jeffrey has maintained position. ANL NP6 from 19th to 12th, from last to 12th. That has to be commended. Hashtag picks up P13. Walkers is 14th. Lazy but talented with the fastest lap of 127.695 is 15th. James is 16th. Wolcott is 17th. Radgar and EFE Ema did not finish the race. Will I be able to run through this in time for stewards per usual? I might just be able to. Yep. So if the stewards would like to refer to the stream, they can. And I think with that, we are going to call it for this race. This was round 5 of ANL Division 1 around Silverstone. Thank everybody who tuned in for watching, and I think, yep, we can expect a very interesting season, a very closely fought championship battle if this is what we're going to witness race after race. But yeah, until then, thank you, take care, good night, and bye bye.